Let's dive into the Neon EVM, a bold experiment that brings Ethereum compatibility to the Solana blockchain. By blending Ethereum's vast developer ecosystem with Solana's blazing speed and low-cost transactions, Neon has created one of the most intriguing technical hybrids in the crypto space. But what exactly is Neon? Who's behind it? And does it have a future beyond hype? Team background and origins. Neon Labs, the team behind the Neon EVM, was founded by Marina Gurjeva, an experienced tech entrepreneur with a background in product strategy and venture development. The team is largely composed of developers and systems engineers familiar with both the Ethereum virtual machine and Solana's unique runtime. Their goal? To make it possible for Ethereum dApps to run directly on Solana without rewriting code. Backed by early funding from Jump Capital, Solana Capital, and Three Arrows Capital, the project made waves early on, especially during 2021-2022, when EVM-compatible chains were booming. Despite the collapse of some of its backers, the team pushed forward and officially launched on mainnet in July 2023. What is Neon EVM? Neon is not a layer 2 nor a separate chain. It's an Ethereum-compatible environment that lives as a smart contract on Solana. This means you can take any Solidity smart contract, deploy it as is using Ethereum tools like MetaMask, Truffle, or Hardhat, and have it executed on Solana's high-performance network. Neon translates EVM bytecode into Solana instructions on the fly. That's a technical feat. It effectively acts as a translation layer between two fundamentally different architectures. In doing so, it makes Ethereum dApps interoperable with Solana's DeFi and NFT ecosystems, GitHub activity, and developer signals. As of mid-2025, the Neon Labs GitHub is active with several repositories under frequent development, including the core Neon EVM, Neon Proxy, and integration tooling. Commits have been consistent since 2021, and over 15 contributors remain active. Notably, they maintain direct integration paths for MetaMask support, EVM RPC compatibility, and they recently launched a test environment for EVM native ZK proofs over Solana, signaling a push into advanced cryptography. Tokenomics. Neon Token Breakdown. The Neon token powers the ecosystem with several use cases. It pays for gas fees within the Neon EVM. It can be staked by operators who run Neon proxy servers. It serves as a governance token for protocol upgrades. Initial token supply was capped at 1 billion Neon. The breakdown was to 25% to the team and advisors, with a 4-year vesting, % to ecosystem development, and grants 10% to early backers and strategic investors, 20% for liquidity and market making. Most early unlocks happened gradually, starting from Q3 2023, with over 60% of the supply already circulating. Token inflation is fixed at 2% annually post-vesting, with governance able to adjust it in the future. Whitepaper summary. The Neon Whitepaper lays out a vision of scalability and cross-chain interoperability. It focuses on the architectural advantage of embedding the EVM directly on Solana. The whitepaper also explains the role of the Neon proxy architecture, which takes Ethereum-style transactions and wraps them as Solana instructions. Key features include no need for Solidity devs to learn Rust. Gas estimation and execution remains identical to Ethereum. Compatibility with all ERC20 and ERC721 standards. This compatibility layer enables a kind of parasite scaling, benefiting from Solana's TPS without needing its own validator set. DeFiLlama stats, TVL, revenue and adoption. As of July 2025, Neon has a total value locked TVL of roughly $45 million. It has grown steadily, although slower than some hype-fueled competitors. Most of the activity comes from EVM native protocols like Curve, Uniswap v2 forks, and synthetic asset platforms that migrated to Solana via Neon. Revenue generation is modest, with about $50,000 a month in protocol fees, largely from gas abstraction and proxy relayers. However, user cost per transaction remains under $0.01, leveraging Solana's efficiency, roadmap, and what's been delivered. So far, the Neon team has delivered full Solidity compatibility on Solana mainnet, rolled out support for MetaMask, Remix, and Truffle, launched governance staking and proxy infrastructure. Upcoming milestones include KEVM testnet integration, late 2025, direct bridging to Ethereum L2s, Optimism, Arbitrum, a grant program to onboard Ethereum native DeFi. The roadmap is ambitious, but the team has hit most major milestones on time so far. Legal and regulatory landscape. Unlike some Ethereum forks, Neon is not a new chain, which avoids many of the regulatory pitfalls around launching a new consensus layer. However, since the Neon token is used to pay for gas and staking, it may still face scrutiny as a utility token, especially in US jurisdictions. The project is registered under a Swiss foundation, which gives it some distance from SEC classification risks. Nonetheless, given its ties to DeFi, regulatory watchfulness is expected. Financial sustainability. Neon currently survives on a mix of treasury reserves and modest fee revenue. They're also offering grants to developers to kickstart the ecosystem. Long-term sustainability will depend on growing TVL, more high-quality Ethereum dApps migrating to Solana, whether Solana itself can maintain uptime and developer trust with low overhead and an infrastructure-light model. Neon has a lean burn rate compared to other chains. Final thoughts and call to arms. Neon represents a bold bet on cross-ecosystem compatibility. If Ethereum is the smart contract standard and Solana is the high-speed base layer, Neon might be the bridge that brings them together. It's not without risks. Bridging two different chains comes with complexity and adoption hurdles. But for developers looking to build at Ethereum scale with Solana speed, Neon is one of the most serious experiments out there. That is the end of this 10-min deep dive. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more breakdowns of Web3's most innovative projects.